Good morning, Bills Mafia. Welcome to another edition of Dom Mafia Live, the Dom Mafia Report. Many of you know, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. EST, we all gather together and we discuss the trending topics surrounding our favorite team. It is currently Tuesday, September 2nd, and Sunday Night Football is so close, I can taste it. I think we can all say that football is officially back, right? From what I understand, I could be wrong. I am watching like an absolute hawk. Sean McDermott is set to speak with the media tomorrow morning. I don't believe it is today. We will also end up getting our first injury report tomorrow for the Buffalo Bills and Baltimore Ravens game. So quite a bit is going to be discussed leading up into the week one matchup. But today's edition, I kind of wanted to discuss the depth charts, what precisely the Buffalo Bills are going to do with their interior defensive line. As many of us know, DeWayne Carter ended up going down with a torn Achilles. He is missing the remainder of said season. And right now, all Buffalo has as far as like quality starters is going to be Daquan Jones, Ed Oliver, and then two rookies with TJ Sanders and also with Deion Walker. What is Buffalo possibly going to do? Are they going to elevate somebody from the practice squad? Are they going to hit a bargain bin free agency signing? Who knows? On top of that, we are also going to look at the NFL top 100 players. Our quarterback, Josh Allen, is now the third best player in the NFL, according to NFL players from last year. I have some complaints over that, and I will end up giving you my take on that a tad later. And a bunch of different topics surrounding our favorite team. As you are coming in, folks, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up sign. It is the easiest way to show some love on this channel. Also, as many of you know, I am absolutely nosy. So please do me a favor and sound off in the comments section, sound off in the live chat. Where are you tuning in from? What corner of the United States, what corner of the globe are you tuning in from? Even the lurkers, people that like to tune in and not say anything in the live chat, I'm requiring you to introduce yourself in the chat at least one time and let me know where you are tuning in from. Guys, listen, football season is right around the corner, including on Thursday Night Football. And I got to tell you about my boys over at Sleeper. Folks, Sleeper is hands down the best player prop platform on the market today. And I got to tell you what, I am currently building up a parlay that I think is going to hit. As you can see, I have Saquon Barkley. He's going up against the Dallas Cowboys. While I think that they're going to have a somewhat improved run defense, I feel like over 96.5 rushing yards for Saquon Barkley is a move. Christian McCaffrey, an anytime touchdown, that's literally the San Francisco 49ers offense right now, is Christian McCaffrey. So give me Christian McCaffrey more than half a touchdown. And last but not least, you have CeeDee Lamb going up against the Philadelphia Eagles defense. That's secondary. I have a feeling that CeeDee Lamb goes under 72.5 now that they have George Pickens. I'm going to parlay this bad boy and say, for example, that I were to put down 10 doll hairs, I could get a payout of over $48. On top of that, say that I really wanted to get ballsy, say that I were to put down 20, that pays out 96. Guys, Sleeper is hands down the best platform on the face of the planet for all of your player prop picks right now. And if you sign up using the link in my description, they are matching 100% of your first deposit all the way up to $100. Send me over all of your picks all season long. Let's have a little bit of a competition. Sleeper is a proud partner of the channel this year. Sound off for everybody and sound off to Sleeper for showing us a little bit of love. Terms and conditions, obviously, supply. Do not be shy, folks. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and let's get in on the action. We have Cheektowaga, New York is in the Bills. Brandon, what is going on? Go Bills. Hurley, New York. Clearwater, Florida. From Lackawanna, Dave Rock, what's going on, man? Hope all is well. He's number one. We're just being modest. Absolutely. Will saying go Bills. Checking in from the 716. Toledo is in the building. Chattanooga, Salem, Virginia is in the building. Mississippi from Wellsville, New York. Go Bills. Baltimore, Maryland. Shout out to the Admirals Cup Bills Bar. What's going on, Steven? I hope all is well. Guys, do not be shy. Let me know where you're tuning in from right before we end up getting into this conversation here. North Carolina, go Bills. Sorry I'm late, Dan. How dare you, Big Daddy D? How dare you? I'm just kidding, my friend. I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday. New Hampshire is in the building. Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Palm Coast, Florida. Danbury, Connecticut. Winter Haven, New York. We have Delonte, Florida. Let's go, Dan. Let's go, Bills. Fabian, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. And the ATL, man. 175 of you are in here right now. 101 of you are on YouTube. Smash that like button, folks, and let's get down to business. I got to tell you what, we ended up releasing. So the top 100 in the NFL. And I got to tell you what, folks, we have Josh Allen, our quarterback, sitting at number 3. Now, I got to tell you what, I do acknowledge the fact that these votes or the voting of this top 100 in the NFL typically occurs toward the back half of the regular season. So playoffs normally aren't included, and the players end up submitting exactly like who they think is the best player during that very important time. All of these submissions were typically put in when Lamar Jackson started going off toward the back half of the season, and there were so many conversations about who truly deserved the MVP. But having QB1 at number 3 is the highest that he has ever been on this list. Now, what I do want to do, I'm going to pull up the NFL top 10, and I got to tell you something. While I understand that perhaps the players didn't have enough time to really unpack everything that occurred last year in the 2025 season, I'm sorry, but Josh Allen is the number 1 player in the NFL. I'm sorry. There's no questions asked. You cannot convince me otherwise. As long as you do not have a deep-rooted hatred for Josh Allen, as long as you are not a Bills fan, if you were to ask most modest fans of the NFL, and if you were to say, hey, who is the one player in the NFL that could truly put his team on his back and win regardless of his supporting cast, many would say Josh Allen, right? Because I always like to look back to last year, especially 365 days in the past where everyone was saying, oh my God, this Buffalo Bills supporting cast, the wide receivers are absolutely trash. Lost a lot of key pieces on defense. This Buffalo Bills team is not making the playoffs. And surprisingly enough, we heard that, right? We did. We all know what happened. When it comes into the players that are above Josh Allen right now, I suppose we'll start off with Saquon Barkley here. Did Saquon Barkley have an incredible season? Absolutely, he did. He was partially the reason why I think Philadelphia won the Super Bowl last year. He was an absolute unit. However, I do think that we do need to give a bit of credit to the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. Like when I tell you that team was opening up, so the Red Sea like Moses, like back in BC, I feel like we would all be lying to ourselves right now. Saquon Barkley, a dynamic athlete, but let's be completely honest with ourselves. He had a lot of help. Of course, he had 2 incredible wide receivers that were going to be a part of a defensive coordinator's game plan each and every single season. Planning against the Philadelphia Eagles offense was nearly impossible based off of all of the players that they had surrounded around him, right? Same thing with Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson, as many of you guys know, like many Ravens fans believe that it's either you love or you hate Lamar Jackson. It's a false dichotomy. I love Lamar Jackson. He is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. I think that he is very talented. He has proven year after year after year that he can also carry his team. He's one of the few QBs. Him and Josh Allen are one of the few quarterbacks in the league right now where I genuinely believe it doesn't matter who their supporting cast is, they're going to figure out a way to win. But in 2024, if you're going to look me in the eye and say that Derrick Henry's presence in the backfield did not affect Lamar Jackson's play whatsoever, you are absolutely out of your mind. You are absolutely out of your mind, and you're not a serious fan. I'm sorry, you're not a serious fan. When it comes into any sort of defensive coordinator, you need to be able to look at each and every single piece out on the field, right? And Derrick Henry just lining up as a single back in the backfield you're always going to be a little nervous. You're always going to know, oh my God, this is clearly going to Derrick Henry. He's clearly going to run it through the A gap. Maybe he ends up breaking off to the edge. We don't know. But there was a reason why Lamar Jackson had crazy separation from his wide receivers last year. And it's not because that they were just wildly talented. No, folks. It was because before each and every single snap, most of the DBs and most of the defensive players were on their heels, trying to figure out what they were going to do with the football. So I think it's pretty safe to say, and this is not a knock at Lamar, he had a wonderful season. He has proven that he has been able to carry his team. He had some help. Just Derrick Henry's presence is going to open up opportunities in the pass game. I do not care what you have to say. Don't pretend like it is not going to be a factor. It is 1,010% a factor each and every single time. Having a quality supporting cast is going to open up opportunities for you. It's just how it is. That's exactly why I have Josh Allen as the best player in the NFL. Hands down, zero questions asked. Why? Because each and every single year, we have to rely on this guy to make our offense move. I think when I look at the Buffalo Bills, if you were to replace just about any other quarterback in the NFL, I don't think they would have the same success that they do in Buffalo. Nobody is asked to do more for their team than Josh Allen. I love Khalil Shakir, right? He is a quality slept-on wide receiver. He's no A.J. Brown, right? Like, he's no A.J. Brown. He's no Jamar Chase. He's no what have you. Josh Allen ended up spreading the football around more than anybody in the league to a variety of different playmakers. Without Josh Allen, what would this team have been? Maybe one other quarterback would have been able to make this Buffalo Bills team at least serviceable. And that's probably Lamar Jackson, right? So the way that I look at this, I genuinely believe that Josh was snubbed as far as not being recognized as the best quarterback in the NFL, because like nobody on this list that is above him is asked to do more than Josh. Both of those players above have an incredible team surrounding them. It works like a well-oiled machine, and Buffalo just clearly lacks the personnel. Without Josh Allen, this team would not have gone 13-4 last year. So without Josh Allen, I would probably say that we probably would have missed the playoffs. 9-8, maybe 8-9. It's just how it is. It's not about how good a player is with the supporting cast. It's how good of a player are you by yourself, separating all of your supporting cast. That is how I genuinely believe that these players should have been looking at it. So that's me on my soapbox. I genuinely believe that Josh Allen should have been the number one player in the NFL, but I feel like he's going to have a lot of proof this year. He's going to have to win a Super Bowl, baby. Like, he's going to have to lead the Buffalo Bills to Santa Clara, raise the Lombardi for Buffalo for him to finally get his recognition. And even if he does that, I'm sure there will be somebody trying to say that he is undeserving. But we all know that he is number one in our hearts in Bills Mafia, and I cannot wait for him to once again show the world that he is being slept on. And that's crazy to say, especially since he's number 3 in the NFL, and I have the audacity to come out here and say that he's being slept on, all right? Calm down, Dan. Let's relax. Anyway, let's see how the people are doing. We have 248 of you in here already, guys. 127 of you are on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up sign for me. It's the easiest way to show love over here on this channel. We are unpacking everything that is happening with the Buffalo Bills this morning as we prepare for the Baltimore Ravens. Main topic of today is obviously going to be main topic is obviously going to be the lack of depth in the interior defensive line, what we are going to do with it, and then I'll probably end up opening up the Garage Beer hotline for people to call in and tell me exactly what is on their mind. We have KGTH, thoughts on taking a long shot and signing Christian Wilkins to fill the injury spot on the defensive line. From what I understand, he's still hurt. That's half of the reason why I think he was released in the first place, because he did not end up taking his rehab seriously. Now, we don't know the full story, And then number 2, I feel like he's a little creepy, right? Like he's based off of rumors we've heard of how he treats some of the players in the locker rooms, make people feel a bit uncomfortable. And I'm not entirely sure that he's ready to go. I think that there's a foot injury. He was not participating much during the few training camp and preseason sort of exercises that he was. But we're going to have to see. Vade is in the building. What's up, Dan? What's up, man? Hope all is well. Hope all is well. Seems like when it's Buffalo, guys, they always get snubbed. It's tough to say that it's a snub. It's just an oversight, in my opinion. I honestly think that Josh is the number 1 player in the NFL based off of a lack rate of a supporting cast. And the fact that he's accounted for well over 85 to 90% of all touchdowns that came into it. So, like, that's it. We have my boy, Mafia Sports Report. I'm 100 with you, Dan. Allen should have been number 1 considering everything he does for his team, with probably the least amount of wide receiver talent and the other star quarterbacks have. And granted, I'm not sitting around here and parading that Josh has no help. Josh does have one of the best offensive lines in all of football, so that sincerely helps. And we did see the elevation of James Cook. I am not ignoring that. But as far as supporting cast, and as far as some of the woes that we had on the defensive side of the football, I genuinely believe when you compare all of the supporting cast of the Philadelphia Eagles, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Cincinnati Bengals, I feel like you need to have Josh Allen. Need to have him at number 1. Because while he doesn't have nothing, he certainly has the least. We rely on Josh way too much, and I don't think we should have to. And the other players need to step up, or Beane, McDermott have to do a better job in surrounding our franchise quarterback with more talent. Well, so here's the deal. So I feel like we're always looking for more talent, quote unquote. And when you look at Josh Allen's game, right? So his arm talent, so his ability to extend plays with his legs, his ability on the ground, those are all elite traits. All of them are elite traits. By surrounding Josh Allen with more talent, I could only assume that we're looking for elite traits. I hate to tell you, but elite traits cost money. And if we were going to go out there and if we were going to sign an elite wide receiver, or we were going to sign an elite running back, an elite wide receiver number 2, that's going to cost a bit. So I almost empathize with Beane and McDermott, because it's a hell of a lot cheaper to have a quarterback that has 3 elite traits than to go on ahead and grab a wide receiver that's wildly elite as well, right? It's tough to do that. And it's a lot easier said than done to pick somebody in the draft, because, guys, I hate to say it, I don't care how good your scouting department is at any given moment. Each and every single NFL draft is an absolute crapshoot. It is. It's tough to be able to predict that a player can transition into the NFL almost seemingly. And it's largely like that. So as far as like my wishes of Buffalo going out and getting Josh some elite talents, I just hope that we end up like lucking out in the draft, right? And so I really, really do. Jonas has come in with a question. And do you agree with the stats predictions from Josh? 33 passing touchdowns. I did not see it. Peter is coming in. Carter was going to be a healthy scratch. Absolutely nothing changes with the injury. Just call up Zion Laug, and it is a done deal. Peter Wilson, he's spoiling my segment. He's spoiling my take, my friend. He is right. Many of you were worried about this, right? Be like, oh my God, Dan, look at this defensive tackle room that we currently have. We have Ed Oliver, we have Daquan Jones, we have TJ Sanders, and Deion Walker. Larry Ogunjobi obviously is suspended, and DeWayne Carter is out for the season with an Achilles injury. So what is Buffalo going to do? In my opinion, probably not much. In my opinion, probably not much. So when I look at the interior, you're going to see Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones on week 1. If I am a gambling man, no less than 75% of the snaps. And that's probably even conservative. More than likely, I think that these guys are going to be out there closer to 80% of the snaps, both of them. And while TJ Sanders and Deion Walker are indeed rookies, I am encouraged, wildly encouraged, of their preseason performances, enough to where I would trust these guys to take care of 20% of the snaps. So I do think Buffalo is going to make a move. No, I do not think that Buffalo is going to hit free agency. I don't really see us going out and spending money on, so a defensive tackle, like Peter just said, is more than likely going to be a healthy scratch in the first place. I have a feeling it's probably going to be Jordan Phillips. I have a feeling. Maybe Zion Laug. Maybe. Say, for example, that McDermott feels a bit more comfortable because he had more reps with the team during training camp. I don't know. But that's likely going to be the move. We are going to elevate Phillips, or we are going to elevate Laug. And who knows, right? And he's just going to be dressed and he's going to be sitting on the sideline as a healthy scratch. That's more than likely what it's going to look like. So when it comes into the defensive tackle room, probably wouldn't be too upset. Derrick Henry is going to run over the Bills secondary. Week 2 injury list is going to be long for the Buffalo Bills. So surprisingly enough, right? Here, let me go ahead and pull this up. Derrick Henry Bills. Derrick Henry career versus Bills. Let me show you. So when it comes into Derrick Henry versus the Buffalo Bills, folks, for the most part, he's really only ever had 2 games where he has ran all over the Buffalo Bills. 56 yards his first time, 78, 57, and 25 yards in September 19th, 2022. For the most part, Sean McDermott has an answer for Derrick Henry. Both of those games where you see Derrick Henry having 143 yards, in that game obviously was when Josh Norman got completely stiff-armed into a new realm. And then same thing with last year, where he nearly rushed for 200 yards. That largely had to do with the fact that Buffalo was absolutely destroyed on the defensive side of the football. No Matt Milano, had no Bernard, just had a carousel of bums at the linebacker position, had a couple of key injuries on the defensive line. Benford, I'm pretty sure, missed the game too. But each and every single time that the Buffalo Bills have gone out there with a relatively healthy defense, you're seeing games like 56 yards, 78 yards, 57 yards, and 25 yards. That's exactly what I'm anticipating from Derrick Henry. I think, say that I had to guess where he'll ultimately end up finishing, I think we'll probably see like a 70-yard game from Derrick Henry, 73 maybe, 75. But I don't see him repeating 200 yards against a fully healthy Buffalo Bills defense, right? I'm actually curious here. Bills-Ravens playoff game. Let me see. So when I look at this is probably what I do. This is likely what I think Derrick Henry is going to do. This is what Derrick Henry does to the Buffalo Bills when they have seemingly an all-around healthy defense. 16 carries, 84 yards, and 1 touchdown. That's kind of where I think it's going to land. Because last time we played Baltimore, that's when we were nearly at full health going into the season on the defensive side of the football. And that right there is more of a Matt Milano and a Terrell Bernard type stat line. So I would be shocked if Derrick Henry does much better than this. Say that he does crack 84 yards or say that he does crack 80 yards, and it's likely Buffalo has some sort of injury. And let's hope not. I hope that there's no injuries on either sides of the football. That's kind of where I'm at. What Beane needs to do is sign Peppers instead of waiting around hoping for the best when it comes to Bishop. Yeah, man, for sure. Listen, I like Peppers. And so I do. But like, here's the thing with Peppers for me. So he is a free agent, right? And he is 29 years old. So would he willingly want to sign for the Buffalo Bills, knowing that there is so many questions around where the coaching staff is going to go with the safety room, right? Maybe it's going to be a Mike Edwards 2.0, right? So where that safety came in, we all thought that he was going to be the starter. But then ultimately McDermott ended up giving the nod to DeMar Hamlin. I feel like Peppers is going to sign with a team that almost all but guarantees he's going to be the starter. Like, he still wants to start. So it's not so much will the Bills make an offer, it's so much that will Peppers end up agreeing to it, right? Because I have a feeling that he's going to want to go to a team where he knows for a fact that the coaching staff is going to give him a nod to start. That's kind of where I'm at, Tommy. But hey, listen, like I said, I would be more than happy to, of course, welcome him onto this roster and make some moves. Are you going to be at any home games? Where can we meet and have a beer? Paul Raymond, what up, dude? I am going to be at week 3. So the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins, Thursday Night Football. It's myself, Richie, TD, Z-Bot, Rico. We have armed security as well. But we are going to be meeting at a tailgate right before the game. And then we're going to be sitting at this like awesome, like suite like style thing. So like we're going to be tailgating. So just do me a favor, hit me up on a DM and we'll meet up with you at a tailgate. Allen to number 1 to hell with the list. Dan, do we take Hunter Renfrow? He just re-signed with the Carolina Panthers. Man. That's kind of what it's looking like. The race review. I will see you in the suite week 3. I cannot wait to meet you in person, my friend. I am looking forward to that. All right, guys. You know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to open up the Garage Beer hotline. Folks, if you haven't experienced this before, what I typically like to do is I like to open up this hotline for anybody that wants to come in and have a conversation with me about the Buffalo Bills. So say, for example, that you have something on your mind, something that is burning in your chest, and you want to have a conversation about it. Please feel free to call in. The line is now open. We are locked in and ready to go with Buffalo Bills versus Baltimore Ravens. Beane is genuinely pissing me off. Why is he allergic to signing good name players like Peppers? It's because he's not at least 35 and he didn't play with us. Okay, so how convinced are we that Peppers is good, right? Say that Peppers was that good. Like, would he have been released from the New England Patriots, who are obviously trying to win right now, right? Like, who are obviously trying to get Vrabel's guys in there. I'm not saying Peppers is bad, but if Peppers did not make a 53-man roster, if Peppers was that good, why did he not make the 53-man roster, and why has he not been picked up? If Peppers was as good as we thought that he was, he probably would have made the 53-man roster, and if not, then even if he wasn't a scheme fit and he was still that good, he probably would have been picked up by now, right? It's been like 2 days. So sometimes I like to follow what other GMs in the league are doing, because Buffalo is not the only team in the NFL that would love to upgrade their safety room right now too, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. I'm betting the over on Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen player prop bets for fantasy points. Dude, you got to do it, man. I have a feeling it's going to be a really good game. Bills don't want an athletic safety like Peppers. They would rather have Hamlin because he knows where to be, just shows up after the play is over. Statement, not to take anything from the offensive linemen, but I would hold on that best offensive line in the league. How much of that is due to Josh Allen being able to avoid the pressure? And so our running backs have not reached 1K yard yet. Go Bills. So I think when you look at advanced analytics, it's pretty true, right? Like, yeah, he can avoid pressure, but like he's regularly getting like 3.5, like 4 seconds rate of protection. So with going into that, and then plus, I don't think that our run game just magically got fantastic as far as efficiency based off of James Cook, right? So it's definitely top 3. And so I wouldn't be upset if somebody thought that maybe we would be looking for, like maybe we would be looking at like top 5 or something along those lines. But yeah, that's me. Hey, Dan, is Bass starting week 1? That is still a question we don't know. I did see a bit earlier today or maybe it was yesterday, or maybe it was so the day before when I was traveling back home that we brought in like 3 kickers for a workout. I mean, who knows, man? He's having some issues. Who cares? He's better than Hamlin. I mean, is he? And so, I mean, is he though? Right? So the thing is, like, so I always try to humble myself, right? Sometimes I believe that that's the case. Sometimes I believe that a player based off of a namesake alone is better than what we currently have on said roster. But there's so much that goes into decision making, and there's so much more that front offices know more than myself. Kind of makes me think like, is that player better than what we currently have? And if we're looking to replace Peppers with Hamlin, so Hamlin's a backup safety, and what Peppers is not. So I don't think that Peppers is going to willingly sign with the team so to be a backup safety. And so I like Jordan Hancock. A lot, but I mean, let's see what's up. Guys, listen, so the Garage Beer hotline is open. Say, for example, that any of you would like to call in and tell me what is on your mind. It is wide open. Let me know. Stop getting caught up in names and get caught up in production. If the name was that good, they wouldn't be a free agent. Exactly my thought. Like, guys, so regression is a real thing in the NFL. Hence why everybody was so enamored with OBJ for the longest time. Surprisingly enough, I'm pretty sure I did remember a couple of people in the live chat that wanted OBJ even this offseason. Like what he said that he wasn't. Sometimes I feel like we get way too excited about names of players, and we have to realize something. Say that there are not teams beating down the door for a said player and still does not have a home. There's a reason. Whether or not that it's regression, whether or not that it's a lingering injury that is deadly close into him like needing surgery. A perfect example was right at the beginning of the season. I wanted Asante Samuel Jr. I thought that he would be a steal for this team as CB2. I'm pretty sure that I told a lot of you guys about it too, and many of you hopped on the bandwagon with myself. But then after he visited virtually every single NFL team, at least seemingly, still doesn't have a job, at least up until I'm aware. That tells me that these front offices know something more than I do, right? So I feel like we don't have all of the information. We don't know what happens at practice. We don't know like whether or not that these players are hitting signs of regression that players don't want to run the risk at, because the best ability is availability. And if we were to bring in Peppers and say, for example, that he was like on the verge of like a minor injury that turns serious and we're in the exact same position like right that we were, then that's a different conversation for me. We have Peppers is better than Hamlin. He's been one of the better safeties in the NFL right over the past few seasons. Even if he's lost a step, he's still better. But like, and dude, look, like I agree with you, but why did he not make the 53-man roster on the Patriots? And why has he not been signed yet? Right? Like say that he was like, so here's how I look at it. Like more than likely, we're going to be having Cole Bishop and Taylor Rapp starting. And Cole looked better during his preseason week 3 performance. And so right? Hamlin is going to be next in the depth chart. I don't really see him starting, right? And then hopefully Hancock can step in too. But say that Peppers comes, great. But I just don't think that Peppers is going to join a team knowing that there's so many question marks of who is going to be given the starting position. Maybe it's DeMar Hamlin. Like, say that I was Peppers, I don't want to like sign with the Bills. I don't. Because he's still 29. He probably still wants to start. And I don't think that like he's going to want to go to a team where we have a second-year player that was a second-round pick that we're doing whatever we possibly can to make become a starter. And then, of course, you have a vet. Ryan has come in. So am I wrong for having a little to no trust in Bass anymore? I feel like we need to change sooner rather than later. So I feel like Bass, for the most part, is really only bad toward the beginning of the season. But statistically, in November and December, he's really good. And same thing with the playoffs. Of course, outside of that wide right, just 2 years ago. So my concern with Bass is that he's not healthy. Because, so we missed half of preseason and missed half of training camp. And then he ended up missing a kick during the final preseason game. And now we brought in 3 kickers for a workout. So I'm not so much that we need to move on from Bass because I don't trust him anymore. I think that he was able to get over his yips, right? But that's kind of where we're at. And DeWayne Carter being injured does not affect this team. Feels like a massive miss of a draft pick to me. We only got him because we traded back with the Kansas City Chiefs. Indeed, my friend. Stop sleeping on Hamlin. Oh, my God. Yeah, but we got to sign Bosa. Facts over feelings. Well, so with Hamlin has a job and Peppers doesn't. So there is your answer. I honestly think Hancock is the future starting safety, but that might not happen until next season. I'm high on Hancock. I am high on Hancock. And I'm optimistic on Cole. Maybe not optimistic. I'm hopeful for Cole. If Cole can go out there and play well this year and shut me up, then I'm completely fine. But all of you know how happy I am and how optimistic I am right about Jordan Hancock. So we're going to have to see. We have Josh Allen MVP. Wasn't Trey White a free agent for like a month and we signed him? Keep that same energy for him then. Teams haven't been signing Peppers because they don't have a Cole Bishop starting. And so I can guarantee you that there's more than 60 to 75% of the NFL that would look to have an upgrade at the safety position. Look. And so again, I'm a very passionate fan, right? But I've been burned a lot. When I want a player just based off of namesake. And there's reasons why that player wasn't picked up. Why Trey White was picked up was due to the fact that he was familiar with our system. And familiarity, for this team at least, is better than bringing in somebody that is not, right? Whether or not that you agree with me on that take or whether or not that you don't, that's exactly what the front office believes. So I just kind of like throwing that out there. Look. I'm not saying that signing Peppers is a bad idea. From the outside looking in, it is. But I just try not to get you guys excited because I know how this front office thinks based off of previous behavior. That they just don't think it's worth it, right? And safeties are probably one of the least important positions in a defense, especially compared to so the defensive line, same thing with perimeter corners. So luckily we have a quality linebacking room that is great in coverage, that is great at stopping the run as well. So safety for me is probably the least important. And say that we were to have a weakness on anything on this defense, I would much rather it be safety than anywhere else. Because how you look at all this is, so we are a salary cap league, right? So each and every single team is going to have a weakness somewhere. And I'm not going to lie to you folks. What position group would you trade with the safety room to rather have a weakness in that group, right? Say that you can choose any position group on this roster right now to have a weakness at. What would your choice be? Definitely shouldn't be offensive line. It definitely shouldn't be defensive line because they are a part of every single play. So the trenches, absolutely not. I'm sorry, but I am not going to willingly ask for a weakness in the trenches. I'm not going to willingly ask for a weakness in the perimeter corner side of things. I'm definitely not going to ask for a weakness in wide receiver. I'm definitely not going to ask for a weakness in linebackers because we've been burned by that a million times. Like, folks, most quarterbacks have what? Like 3 attempts downfield each and every single game per the safeties. And most quarterbacks 20 yards in all of their attempts. Maybe they're completing 20% of those all season long. So the numbers don't justify focusing too much on the safety position. It's true. It's true. If somebody can tell me what position group they would much rather have a weakness at, right opposed to safety, then let me know. Because safety is by and large the least important to me. What if the Patriots go 4-4? What if the Patriots go 4-13 and Bills don't make the Super Bowl? We will. We will. So if I had a reliable pass rush, then the safety room wouldn't be a real concern. Yeah. So let's hope. So let's hope that the pass rush is better, right? I'm optimistic that Bosa can get it done for us. I'm optimistic that Greg Rousseau can get it done for us. That's how it works. Derek is in the building. Hell, Floyd should have gotten a contract based off of our defensive ends. I think Hamlin cursed the safety room. Hamlin drafted in 21, then Hyde got hurt in 22. In 23, Hamlin maintains the starting job. In 24, and with Edwards gets hurt and then released, and now Bishop hurt twice. Guys, oh my God. Look. Okay, listen. I understand that most of you hate DeMar Hamlin. Like, most of you hate this guy for some reason. I have no idea why. I have no idea why people hate Hamlin so bad. Many of you have like a deep-rooted hatred for this player for some reason. He's not a good safety, right? Like, he's not a starting safety. He's not a starting safety. That much we can agree on. But Hamlin was never intended to be a starting safety. Hamlin was starting only due to injuries. Like, that's all it is. He's a quality backup. He's a serviceable backup. He's not a good starter. And Buffalo is not going to go out and pay a backup safety in case there's a world where Hamlin has to step in. Believe it or not, Hamlin has made plays for this team, right? I don't think he deserves the start. But he's nowhere near as bad as people say that he is. He's nowhere near as bad as people say that he is. It's crazy. Like, no, he's not top 10, not top 20. He's not top 32. All right. But he's a backup safety. He's a backup safety that has only been given the nod to start in a pinch. Like, that's just kind of how it is. My God. And so the only Raven injury that really matters is Pat Ricard. I have not seen this injury report yet. Let me see. In fact, I think this might be a pretty good way. Ravens injury report. Let me see. All right, we have no Wednesday's injury report. That was 15th when it came into us. Let's see. Say that he's not a starting safety, then why so many starts? Tough guys. So you had Hyde out for several games. You had several times Poyer was out. Like, past couple of seasons with Hyde and Poyer as the starting safety tandem, very rarely would you see both of them out there at the exact same time healthy. Last year, we ended up having Mike Edwards, who was supposed to be somebody that was supposed to be somebody that was supposed to step in, but he got injured all of training camp, got 0 reps, and McDermott just, of course, so was not like healthy with the guy, right? Like, he didn't trust the guy. So Hamlin had to go out there and start. Same thing with Bishop. So why Hamlin got so many starts last year was due to the fact that we started the season off early And with Mike Edwards was injured for the vast majority of it and was not ramped up to speed with reps. And then exact same thing when it came into Cole Bishop, plus being a rookie on top of that. So it's largely due to injuries. Like, that's exactly why he had so many starts, folks. So DeMar would lock up would lock up all of you in the chat, and he is in the NFL, for Christ's sake. Stop the malarkey. Look, so we all agree, right, that he is not a quality starting safety. But like, y'all act like he wouldn't start on your varsity football team. You know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. Holy shit. Like, what is like, dude. What did Damar Hamlin do to half of you, man? Holy hell. Look, I am not comfortable with him being out there either. But this is how I look at the safety position, right? It's far more important for us to be good on the perimeter corners, have quality linebacking play where they excel in coverage and in run defense, and a quality defensive line. Can our defensive line improve this year? Can we get to the quarterback? Can TJ Sanders make plays? Can Deion Walker make plays? Can Joey Bosa play a fully healthy season and cause noise in the backfield? Hopefully. And if that's the case, we don't need to worry about it. And even then, we probably still don't need to worry about it. Because one thing that Damar is actually decent at, he's decent at coverage. He's quality in zone coverage. He's where he needs to be. He has the same career interceptions as Sauce Gardner. I'm just kidding. It's true, but it's just something I do like to tell Richie when I'm trolling him. But look, like, it's, as far as the safety position, so this is how I look at it, right? Very few times do you ever see a quarterback throw a pass downfield 20 plus yards, maybe 3 times a game, maybe 4. And that's only if your offense is really moving. And there's a reason when you look at completion percentage for 20 yards downfield, it's very often 25% completion percentage. So the numbers don't justify that safety is that important. We got Tommy in the building. Tommy, what up, man?
What up, Dan? How you doing, brother?
Well, let me tell you what, man. I am thrilled for Sunday night. I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling pretty damn good, and I'm hoping we walk away with a dub.
Yeah. I think you and all of Bill's Mafia are feeling the same way. It's going to be a war, man. That game is going to be a close one. I do think we pull it out. We're at home. So I do think we get the victory, but that is going to be a dogfight, an absolute dogfight.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, like, I did see some Ravens trolling here earlier where he was just like, oh, Derrick Henry, man, he's going to run for like 200 yards against you and stuff like that. But I always like to look at the games where we had a seemingly healthy front seven. And anytime we have a seemingly healthy front seven, he's a 70-yard kind of guy. Like, he's a 60-yard kind of guy. So I genuinely believe that their offensive game plan is more than likely going to be attacking. And so especially in the air. I don't think it's going to be a big Henry game at all.
I think they're going to try to use him early on in the game. If our defensive line can attack him early on, not give up the big play, right? The big play is really what sets Henry off, right? If we allow that big run, then it's kind of downhill from there, is how I feel when it comes to Henry. So if we can eliminate the one big run.
So last year was the first play of the game, right?
Yeah.
So last year was the first run of the game where he took it to the house for like 80 yards.
Correct.
Let's hope that we can stop that, right? Like, let's hope that the hype surrounding Matt Milano going into training camp is real, and he actually is back. Let's hope for that.
Let's hope that guys are not out of position, that Damar doesn't get, just ran by.
Dude, you have no idea, man. For the love of God, I hope that Damar makes a couple of plays on week 1, because I cannot take it. I would not be able to take my live chat that following Monday. Be like, I told you Damar Hamlin sucks, Dan. I told you that bum shouldn't be out there, but I don't think he's going to start. What do you think?
I don't. I think Bishop earned it week 3 preseason. It was close. I'm not going to lie, though. That was coming down to the very end, and I think McDermott put Bishop out there week 3, played him a little longer probably, just to see. And I thought Bishop did enough. I still think Bishop's behind a little bit, like McDermott was saying in his press conference. That's why it was a 50-50 chance, right? It could have been Hamlin or Bishop, but I think Bishop earned it. And it's still the thing is with this, man. And I understand what you're saying about Peppers, but that's not always the case, right? And I put in the comments, Leonard Floyd is a great example. We signed Leonard Floyd way late in the offseason, and he wound up being a really good player for us, right? He had like 12 sacks, 12 and a half, something like that. So it's not always the case why players released from a team or not picked up, right away. They may be looking for a bigger contract. And they just settle, I'll just do 1 year. You know what I mean? And then I'll do it and I'll go earn it somewhere else. So I'm just saying there is cases. Now, even if Peppers fell off a little bit, let's say the Patriots feel like they got a better safety and they're, you know what, we're going to go youth. We're going to move on. He's still better than Hamlin. I'm not knocking Hamlin. I think Hamlin's a good depth piece. He's a good story. Everything, obviously, like good guy. Yeah. But listen, there's a reason why we drafted Cole Bishop, right? Was to take that starting role. The problem with Bishop is he can't stay healthy, right? He's missed valuable time. Can we rely on Bishop to last the whole season without being injured?
Tough.
Right. It's tough, right? Then Hamlin, same with him. He's kind of dealt with injuries, right? Now you sign Poyer, who's an aging vet. We all know. Come on, we know Poyer. I love Poyer, but what will Poyer bring? Probably what he brought last year to the Dolphins, right? Not a lot. Let's be real.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
So do you have more faith in Jordan Poyer being elevated week 1 to play than Damar Hamlin? That's the question. That's the question. Who are you picking, folks? Who are you picking, chat? Hamlin or 60-year-old Poyer?
You should have put that in your polls, like a poll in the chat. That would have been a great poll.
I feel honestly, like I should have.
You should have, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with that.
I'd probably lean Hamlin, to be honest with you. I'd probably lean Hamlin.
I might be leaning Poyer. I don't know. That's tough. That is, because I'll tell you what we're missing there. Yeah. Poyer knows, like, Poyer doesn't get out of position, and he's a vet. So the one thing that made Poyer and Hyde so special is their communication, right? And Poyer's been there, done that. He's seen every kind of offense. Hamlin, at times, the communication I don't think is really great with Rapp, and he finds himself out of position. He hasn't, he's still new at the position as far as being in the NFL, starting. You know what I mean, against one. So the knowledge, I might go Poyer. But maybe the physical, like the player, as far as abilities right now, Poyer definitely lost more than a step, right? So,
so
I'd be on the fence.
So if Poyer and Rapp were like the starters on week 1, then the Bills would probably have 5 injuries caused by Rapp and Poyer.
Correct.
Like right on the defensive line. Like we would probably end up hurting our own defense with those 2 wrecking balls out there. But I do got to tell you, say that it is Cole and say that it is Taylor Rapp out there on week 1. I'm kind of optimistic about Cole for week 1 because, yes, he sucks in coverage, right? Like he's a liability out in coverage. But I think Baltimore, like you said, is probably going to test out the run game first, like with like Henry, and probably a lot of short passes, like trying to create like Yak. One thing I trust with Cole Bishop is coming downfield and making his tackles. That I do trust him in doing, and that I do trust him and Taylor Rapp doing. So I think it might be the perfect combination on week 1. Hopefully, and they can both play a full game, right? And hopefully they're healthy at the end of the day. But I'm not so much concerned with Cole Bishop's coverage capabilities during week 1 because, so I mean, again, like, how many 20-plus yard attempts will Lamar be making, like on week 1? Like 2, 3?
Yeah,
maybe. So I'm feeling pretty optimistic about Cole on week 1, just based off of his skill set.
I mean, look, like a lot of people got a little like worked up with week 2 preseason when it was Bishop and Hamlin out there. But look, Bishop and Hamlin together is a nightmare. That way, let's never hope we see that again. The communication is just not there. But when you saw even Hamlin with Rapp, it's better, right? And Bishop with Rapp, it's better. The communications, but it's just you have to have Rapp out there with either one of them, right? You can't have Bishop and Hamlin out there at the same time. It would be a nightmare like it was week 2. Like you would see that in a regular season. So hopefully that never happens again. But I think Bishop with Rapp, I think it'll be okay. I don't think his coverage is that bad. He needs to work on it for sure. And that's what I mean about missing time in camp. That stuff like that is the time he's missing to improve and stuff like that. It's frustrating. So hopefully he can learn on the fly. It's kind of like last year. I thought he had some good games, and then I thought he had some bad moments, right? So if we can get the good Cole Bishop that we saw, we might be all right. We might be all right there, and as long as he can stay healthy. But man, here's what I feel, man. I feel like Beane waits around a little bit too long on some of these, players as far as the offseason goes. So like Bass is a great example. I've been talking about it for months now that, man, you have to get somebody else in here. You can't, that injury he has could be something that's like prolonged, like that could last throughout the season. Pelvic injuries, like no joke. I'll be real with you, especially when it comes to a kicker. So why would you wait around so long hoping? And look, you saw what he did last week. If you notice, all his kicks were to the right. Every single one was close. And then the shortest one, he totally missed. So it matters. And now we're scrambling for a kicker. And it's kind of like the same thing with the safety room. And like, I feel like, I get what you're saying with Peppers. And maybe Peppers wants, like you said, a starting role right away. And you don't want to play here anyways. But I feel like us waiting around will bite us. And it's bitten us before, right? Mm-hmm. So I really hope like Beane understands this, or McDermott and Beane, and start adding players a little earlier when these problems arise, right? Instead of waiting around, and now we're picking up no names, or you know what I mean? So we'll see what it comes to. How do you feel about Phillips, by the way? Because of the Carter injury, you think he gets elevated to 53?
Oh, he has to, but I think that he'll be a healthy scratch. It's the exact same thing with DeWayne Carter, in my opinion. Like, it sucked, and yes, I do think that he has been underutilized, but I think his time as a Buffalo Bill is probably over with, right?
Carter,
like now that like he's like missed, so he's missing year 2. I kind of just have a funny feeling that he's going to be taking the exact same path as Boogie Basham. And so I kind of have a funny feeling about that. It sucks, but I think that we'll probably just end up rolling with with Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones and Deion Walker and TJ Sanders. Maybe we'll elevate Laug, or maybe we'll elevate Phillips. Laug is Laug is almost sounding more interesting to me, because I think we can only elevate Phillips a certain amount of time before we need to sign him to that. 3 times. So I wonder if we're going to sort of put him on ice for games that we feel are a bit more important, right?
More for pass rushing, because Phillips is more pass rushing. I agree. I think Phillips will be used. Called
as far as pass rush is concerned too, I don't think that we're really going to get an answer on how good our pass rush is, because we're playing Lamar Jackson, right? Like, we're not going to know how good, folks, if you were hoping that our pass rush was going to go out there and dominate week 1, we have probably the worst opponent, worst quarterback to test that on. All right. Because even the best pass rushes can't get down Lamar Jackson. So don't walk away with any conclusions from this. So it really doesn't matter. I'd say save Phillips for me.
Yeah. I mean, really, if you look at the schedule, we have quarterbacks that are mobile. I mean, even the Jets with Fields.
I know.
And then Tua gets rid of the ball like he's one of the quickest to get rid of the ball. So I mean, it's one of those things. But you got to create pressure, right? You still got to create pressure up the middle, and that's where and then of course Rousseau, and then Bosa. I'm very curious how they use Bosa as well as far as his snap count. I hope they they don't use him a lot, meaning a high snap count, because you need him in the playoffs, right? That really, honestly, he's going to earn his money in the playoffs. Forget the regular season, folks. I don't care if he has 3 sacks the whole season. Give me 3 in the playoffs, or 4 or 5. Like, you know what I mean? Ball out in there. That's when it counts. So we need the other guys to step up. The younger guys. So we'll see. You know, like I said, if we can create at least pressure, it'll help the safety room. It'll help the DBs. There's still no word on Trey White. Very curious what they do on DB2, on CB2. That is very curious who if Trey's not available, do they go Ingram?
Yeah,
Do they go Cam? I mean, like I'm telling you, man, week one's going to be very interesting when it comes to this defense. Offense, Dan, I'm not concerned. I think our offense is fine. I think our offensive line, I heard you earlier talk about our offensive line. I think it's a top 5. I think that's fair. I think our run game, obviously, James Cook got paid. He's going to be happy. So hopefully he balls out, shows his worth. I like like I said, I like Ty Johnson. I like our, Ray Davis. I think our wide receiver room got better. So I think we're going to be all right, man. Offensively, it's defensively. Let's see where if this team can at least hold. If this team can hold like it did in the playoffs, where we get ahead, then we have a chance to win week 1, no problem. You know what I mean? But we got to get that lead early, and our defense has to make some stops early on because Baltimore is going to get their points.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny because we actually have a Ravens fan in here. For the Ravens, and so our weakness on defense is probably our safety position as well, since we'll be starting a rookie. Maybe also whoever is playing linebacker with Roquan. Other than that, very solid everywhere. And he adds that Jair is not going to play. He's still recovering from his other injury. Expect the Chibodi to be playing. Now, I haven't heard an official word, but having Alexander out is probably going to be helpful for this team. Like having with Jair coming out. But come on. And so y'all have Kyle Hamilton out there, man. He's like a one-man wrecking crew. Like, you'll be fine at the safety position, my friend. Trust me. You'll be fine there. All right. And Malachi Starks, all right? Like one of the best safeties in the draft. Poor you.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, buddy. I'm just kidding.
The Ravens are no joke. They're a loaded team. Both sides of the ball. They got talent on both sides of the ball. But we play them. I feel like we play them very well. They got us in the regular season last year, but we had a lot of injuries. But I also don't like to play that card. It is what it is, man. Injuries, non-injuries, you got to go out there and play. So, I still think we play them very well. It's a dogfight. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited for the game, man. And man, that's all I had to say, man. I felt nobody was coming on, so I'm like, man, you know what?
I'm gonna come on with that, man. Listen, so the Garage Beer Hotline is always so popular. And people always like to chime in, but that's okay. I could only imagine people are just getting back into the workday. It's been a whatnot. But anyway, folks, again, do me a favor and go subscribe over to Tommy's channel, baby. Mafia Sports Report. He is going to be my guy for the post-game reactions. You will see Tommy in this sphere right over here talking a little bit of Buffalo Bills football with me post-game each and every single day.
Can't wait, Dan, man. I appreciate you having the time to talk with me, man.
Shout out, Tommy.
All right, Bills Mafia. Go Bills. Peace.
Go Bills. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out, Tommy. Beth is in the building. Beth, what's up?
Hey, guys. I actually decided to turn my camera on today. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. You are on a walk, I see, and enjoying the great outdoors.
I am. So today is our supply drop-off at school, and I hit a quick break in between kids dropping off their supplies, so I figured I would pop out, take a quick walk, and my favorite streaming platform, a call.
Oh, well, thank you so much. What is on your mind right now, Beth? What's going on?
Well, the DeWayne Carter injury definitely is a little concerning. And I don't know how much you talked about it earlier because I just kind of made my way in just now. But that puts a lot of stress on our pass rush and our defensive ends. I'm a little worried now about depth there. I know that we've got some great guys. I love that we brought Jordan Phillips back for practice squad. I love that we brought Poyer back for practice squad. And Dan, you can even attest to this. I called the Jordan Poyer signing. I called it.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Beth.
I knew they were going to end up bringing him in very similar to Hyde, but I think that Bishop really needs that extra person in the practice squad. He plays the same position that Poyer plays. And I feel like getting the coaching from Poyer on the position that he plays on a normal basis, it's probably going to be a little bit more beneficial than what he even got from Hyde last year. So I feel good about that, but I'm worried about our defensive ends. I'm worried about the depth there.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely going to be a question mark. And like Tommy was just saying right before you came on, it's going to be tough for us to really see how good our pass rush is because we're playing two back-to-back very mobile quarterbacks. I would like
Yeah.
to cause disruptions, though, right? I would like to force Fields' hand. I would like to force Lamar Jackson to go on ahead and fire off a pass a bit earlier than he wanted to. It sucks about the depth. It certainly does. But how I look at it is that Carter more than likely would have been a healthy scratch anyway.
True.
So who do we bring up, right? We can only elevate Phillips 3 times.
Before
So
we have
so I think I'd probably rather give that to Zion Laug because he's going to be a healthy scratch anyway. And I don't want to
Yeah.
waste Phillips because I know that Phillips could be an actual contributor for us, right?
Well, but he has been. So Phillips, his
Yeah.
best years playing football were here with the Bills. Any other team that he went to, he kind of had mediocre seasons at best where he was injured. Not
Yeah.
saying he hasn't injured that he's been with us, because he has been injured on the field with us, but he does a lot more productivity on the field than I feel like a lot of the other guys that we've brought back in the past.
Yeah.
So I feel solid about Jordan Phillips coming back. And
Me
again,
too.
Poyer, I still think Poyer's got a lot to his game. And I think last year was a fluke because of being in Miami. I
Yeah.
think that he didn't play the game that he really wanted to play. I think he's going to have that opportunity this year to get us a Super Bowl and retire not only a Bill, but a Bill with a ring.
I mean, wouldn't that be a story right there?
I don't know. I feel like everything with the Bills is so storybook. I really do, Dan. It feels like,
Yeah.
it's the last year we're in the stadium. We got to win one for Marv because Marv just turned 100. Josh Allen just got married. He just won the MVP. It's like it's the next thing in the progression. We got to get to that next thing, and that's our next thing.
Good storybook. How are you feeling about the week 1 matchup? What is your early prediction?
So I'm here and there. All right. I'm not going to be upset if we lose game 1. I really won't be, because as you guys were saying when Tommy was on, the Ravens are a no joke team. They are loaded from the top down. So, I mean, I apologize. There's somebody cutting the grass in the back.
No problem.
But I feel solid. I think we could win the game, but I could also see it going the other way. I don't think I would be upset either way, but I do think that we have the Ravens number.
Yeah.
I do think we have the Ravens number. And I think with all of the film study we were able to do in this off season, I got a funny feeling that we're more than prepared for this game, and we're probably going to throw some looks at them on defense that they're not prepared for.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. I'm excited to break down everything. Beth, you enjoy the rest of your day on drop-off day, and I look forward to your next call.
Awesome. See you guys later. Have a good one.
See you, Beth. Shout out to Beth, always coming in and showing a little bit of love on the show. Steven is in the building. Steven, what's going on? Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Dan. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, man. It's finally not so ridiculously hot out in Florida. Yeah. It's a nice cool 77 degrees for us here, so it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
People that don't
excited about Bills football.
Right. People that don't live here don't understand how tropical it gets here with the humidity. So this is a welcome break for sure. I called into Sal Capaggio's broadcast this morning, and I'm going to give you what I gave him about my take for this season for the Bills. So first of all, this game coming up week 1, I just cannot see, and I'm not taking away from the Ravens. Let me say this, okay? I cannot see Buffalo losing this game. Now, I watched another podcast. It was a guy who goes by Crash the Table. He does all things Bills, and he was bringing up there's some significant injuries that the Ravens are dealing with right now. He mentioned one guy, I can't remember his name, but he's got this knee injury, and he's a key player. I can't remember his name.
So was it Jair Alexander?
I think that's who it was, yeah. He said that according to what the Ravens are saying, that's still a concern for them. And there's some other ones too, they're there as well. So, first of all, I want to say that, the Ravens are dealing with their own issues. They're not coming into this game at 100% as far as if everybody was healthy. And it's the same thing with the Bills. Now we've got the situation, that Carter, he's out for the season. Okay, we've got Jones and we've got Oliver for our defensive tackles, and they're stellar. Behind them, this is the concern at that position is the rookies. You got Sanders, and you got Dion Walker, I think his name is. So, and those guys are good, but they don't have any NFL experience yet. So there's a concern there. And then, of course, you mentioned, the safety situation, so, but here's what my take is about this. Okay, we don't want to lose sight of this. Buffalo, without any exception, has the number one offense in the league. We got Josh Allen, number 17. What can you say? What can't you say about this guy? He is just phenomenal. The mobility, his passing, how he's grown since he first came in 8 years ago. And the thing is that what I'm looking at with the Bills' passing attack this year, we have such a solid, deep core now with Shakir, with Coleman, with Palmer, and I think Palmer is going to end up outstanding this year for us. I think he showed real promise during the preseason. And of course, we've got Samuel. Now, we don't know, there's still an injury situation with him we're dealing with. But with those three guys right there, and then, of course, there's more. He's been kind of lackluster, but he's still there. So, we've got a lot of great guys in the receiving core. And then, of course, you got our tight ends. And it was brought up, I forget who brought this up. I was watching a podcast about the Bills with, it was Joe Marino, and he was doing one with Jerry Ostrovsky and Jerry from Joe and Jeremy. And they were talking about, they said, let's just say this right now. Josh needs to hit I'm trying to think. I've lost my train of thought. The offensive, the offensive end. You got Knox, Kincaid. He needs to get more catchable passes to Kincaid.
True.
You can't really fault Kincaid for how he did last year. And they discussed this. They said, Josh needs to get, and Josh even admitted that himself. So if he connects with Kincaid more, you're going to see Kincaid's production go way up this year because he's a great player. And then, of course, securing Cook, that's a big relief for everybody. And so with him and Johnson and Davis, and then Josh for the running game. So I believe the offense, and then, of course, we got all the guys, the veterans returning on the line. We got an offense that's unstoppable if we stay healthy. As long as Josh Allen stays healthy, I don't see anybody stopping us. Now, on the defensive side, we got a really solid core now on the linebackers. Milano's looking like the old Milano that's Pro Bowl. We got Andreessen, and we got, let's see, the other guy, his name escapes me right now.
His name is Dorian Williams.
Dorian Williams. Okay, so we got and then our corners, provided that Trey White's ready, and then we've got Coleman, and also on our safety situation, and let's not forget this. Okay, this is one nobody's talking about. It's been maybe kind of hit on a little bit, but nobody's really talking about. Our defense was number one last year in takeaways. And I want to see our defense continue that. And I think that was the key, in particular, Terrell Bernard in that game in the divisional playoff against the Ravens, the takeaways. It was just phenomenal. And I think that was the key to us winning. Of course, we got help from Andrews dropping that ball right at the end there. But the thing I'm saying is that with this first game, look, we're at home. Bills Mafia is going to be out there in force. We're going to be charged up. They're going to get loud. They're going to get rowdy. And so I think my prediction for this game, I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here, but I think this is very possible. I think the Bills are going to win this game 35-28. And if we can do what we did in the divisional game, and that's contain Henry, which we did, and then go after Lamar and put real pressure on him and sack him, we will win this game because, let's face it, the Ravens are coming into this game with an axe to grind. They're upset that they lost that game. And there was a good possibility they would have won had not Andrews dropped that ball. But the thing I'm saying is that I just do not see with the Bills where they're at, the level they're at as a team coming into this game, the last game at Highmark Stadium, historic game, for them to not make a statement right from the outset. We are the team to beat. And this year, we're going to make up for what our team didn't do in the 90 to 93 run, and that's go all the way to the Super Bowl and win it this year.
That's what I'm talking about, Steven. I like that. My friend. I am actually very, very optimistic about this game as well. I think that it's going to be very similar to the playoff game. Both teams are, for the most part, healthy, right in the right places. Some injuries on both sides, but I'm still wildly optimistic myself. Steven, I appreciate you calling in, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one. Shout out to Steven, man. He's always bringing in the positivity. Always bringing in the positivity on the show. I could not thank him enough. We have Grimjaw coming with a $5 donation. Thank you so much, my friend. Hot take. I don't think Trey starts and is still recovering. I just think the Bills like Dorian Strong a lot more than they are letting on. We're going to have to see who starts, man. We're going to have to see who starts. That is a good thing. Good energy, Steven. I love it. Dude, look, why can't we have hope, ladies and gentlemen? Why can't we have hope? I am from, I'm sorry, I'm not going to butcher that, the Indian Reservation, but Buffalo, New York. We're big Bills Mafia here. Shout out, go Bills, week 1. Bills win by 7. Kip, let me tell you what, my friend, I hope you're right. I'm feeling optimistic. So I'm not sure if that is my Homer side kicking in. But yes, I am also very optimistic about this game. One of the best edits for the upcoming matchup. Look at that, man. We have my boy in here. He is a Ravens fan, being wildly respectful. We appreciate him here. Steven's got me ready to jump through a table. Doesn't he all? All right, folks. That's going to have to do it for another edition of your favorite midday Bill show on the internet, the Dom Mafia Report. Folks, I will be live a little later this afternoon for Fourth and Forever, which is my daily NFL show with myself, TD, and Richie. Certainly go on ahead and go subscribe to the Roundtable Sports channel. We're going to be breaking down everything that is happening around the league as week 1 is just 2 days away officially. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I will see you on Fourth and Forever. Go download Sleeper, guys. All right, matching 100% of your first deposit all the way up to $100. Get in on the action. You already saw my parlay, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.